Hey guys, it's Blue S Master 91, and I again thought I would try to keep things rolling. I know that the last couple of updates I haven't been editing anything, and that's just because I do not have the time currently. I'm just trying to, at the very least, get something uploaded every day, every couple days. That being said, I thought I would go into the changes I've made to my branded Blue Eyes Bystial deck real quick. So let's dive in. Most of the deck hasn't changed. It's basically just a rarity bump at this point for a lot of it. It's my 3 gold rare Blue Eyes. That hasn't changed. I love the artwork from the original starter deck Kaiba, and being able to use the gold rare variant instead of using the original printings I still have is a blessing. We do have 2 copies of Alternative. Still a fantastic card. Not much to be said. Jet Dragon is still in the deck and is able to irritate a lot of people still. Next, we have the rarity bump of my Abyss Dragon. Once again, thanks to the rarity collection, I don't know if my camera can really pick it up, but I was able to pull a really, really nice, I believe it's a collector's rare variant of Abyss Dragon. It's either a collector's or platinum. I don't remember which. Actually, it might be an ultimate. Not entirely sure which rarity it is, but I absolutely love it. We then have our 3 copies of Stone of Ancients. Still hasn't changed. Uh, 3 Sage, 1 Stone of Legend, and 3 copies of Dictator AD. All still very, very consistent. It's still powerful in that respect. 2 copies of Aluber, 2 copies of Albaz, a single copy of Hexio Fusion, still standard to go into Dragoon. It still blows my mind that a Blue Eyes deck can use a Dark Magician Fusion, and it's absolutely hilarious. 2 Bystial Lubellion, 1 Bystial Baldrake, just because why not? And then the single copy of Magma. With the updated ban list, I did try to mess around with this build a little bit more. It's still about as consistent as it can be at this point in time. I'm sure there's a few things I could do to change that and make it more consistent, but I like the build. It spits out monsters like no tomorrow, and they're all very, very powerful monsters at that. We have our single copy of Nib, and then 3 Ash. I moved Nib out of the side deck and into the main deck just because of how common it is for an opponent to go summon out 5 monsters on turn 1 or 2, and just having a copy of Nib in the deck is really, really helpful because it lets you board wipe. And then Ash is self-explanatory. Our spells, we have only used 2 copies of Melody, 2 copies of Ultimate Fusion, 2 Polymerization, 2 Branded Fusion, a lot of 2 ofs, and then two copies of Opening, a single copy of Regained. Let's bring those down. There we go. Single copy of Monster Reborn, Feather Duster, and Raigeki. Uh, in no particular order or reason, it's, the original Magic Monster Reborn, my very first Feather Duster, and my very first Raigeki. All pulled that from a pack, pulled this from a pack, and this I got from Stairways to Destiny's Duel on the GBA. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Worldwide Edition, I believe is what it was called. And I was always very, very proud of the fact that I had that card because at one point when the game stopped being sold, a lot of people tried to trade for it. One copy of Branded Banishment and a single copy of Torrential. Again, I haven't changed that much in the main deck. I have been playing around with it a little bit, but not as much as I'd like. It's been a deck that I want to work on. It's just very difficult. Before we dive into the extra deck, I'll quickly go over what's in my side deck. So in the side deck, we have 3 copies of Blazing Cartesia. It's just a really, really good level 4 monster. It helps with the branded stuff. You can special summon her if you have a Fallen Alabaz either on the field or in your graveyard, which is very easy to have. And then you can fusion summon 1 level 8 or higher monster from the extra deck using monsters from the hand or field as material. During the end phase of a fusion monster was sent to the graveyard this turn, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. So she recycles herself as well as allows you to fusion summon very, very easily. So branded fusion is no longer the only way to utilize some strategies. That's why I have her as 3 in the side deck. That will likely change. We have a copy of Iron Dragon Damnation. It's a 2000 attack, level 4 dark dragon monster with 0 defense. It cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned by the following effect. If you have 3 or more cards in the same column, quick effect, special summon this card from your hand. You can only use this effect of this card once per turn. If this card is special summoned, destroy all cards in this card's column. Neither player can use the unused zones in this card's column. So this just locks your opponent out of a column, basically. It's not super useful, but it's still a very good card in my opinion. Especially because it can be the difference between winning a game and losing. If you're locking your opponent out of a zone, you're basically limiting them to 4 monsters, 4 spell and traps, and then I believe it can lock you out of that second extra monster zone, so it can limit decks that utilize a lot of links. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. That is something I would need to ask a judge about. I have the second copy of Baldrake in the side deck, just because it is a good bystial monster. I was running it at 2 for a little bit, but opted to go for just 1 of. Then we have a single copy of Triple Tactics Talon. Once again, the Rarity Collection came in clutch. This is a Platinum Rare. Again, I don't know if the camera is able to pick up on just how beautiful this rarity is. But I absolutely love it. We have 2 copies of Dark Ruler No More, which, again, are from the Rarity Collection. They're just the super rares. We have a Called by the Grave. And then getting into the traps of the side deck, we have Anti-Spell, copy of Rivalry, a copy of Skill Drain, and 3 Imperm. In no particular order, Anti-Spell just, it's a niche. It's not something that really sees a lot of play in the deck. The Imperms, I generally will rotate the Ashes out for. Skill Drain, I don't need effects necessarily. Like, for example, in the extra deck, Tyrant Dragon, unaffected by trap cards, so Skill Drain does absolutely nothing to it. And I mean, there's just a lot of use for it. Rivalry makes it so that each player can only have one type of monster. That's really, really useful in a deck that really only utilizes dragon monsters to an extent. So yeah, I think the only card in here that I would probably question is anti-spell, and that's just because all it really does is forces your opponent to set more cards face down on the field, which it would set up for Feather Duster a lot easier, but as Feather Duster is limited to one, it's difficult to say if that's a good call or not. Alright, but getting into the extra deck, I don't believe anything has changed. But we'll see. We still only have a single copy of Ultimate Alternative, a single copy of Tyrant Dragon, a single copy of Dragoon, one copy of Twin Burst, a single copy of Albion the Branded Dragon, and then a single copy of Lubellion. Excuse me. Once again, Mirror Jade is not in the deck at the moment, and that's just because I almost never went into Mirror Jade, and I felt that while it's a very, very good monster, it doesn't necessarily fit this deck, at least the way I have it built. Because I don't want to have a bunch of extra deck monsters on my field. My ideal end board is, Twin Tyrant, Ultimate, Dragoon, and then, that's truly it. Odds are, if I have those three out, I can win a game or a match. Luster Soldier of Chaos is another monster that if it's on the field in combination with these three, it's very difficult to defeat this board. Because you have the Omni Negate, unaffected by traps, unaffected by your opponent's card effects. Yeah, it cannot be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects. So it's got protection. If I really, really wanted to mess with people, there are other ways to do it than using a copy of Mirror Jade. Not to say Mirror Jade's not a good tech card, and if I do take out Anti-Spell, I would have Mirror Jade in the side deck. We do have a single copy of Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. This is just a really, really useful card in the deck. Not 100% sure without checking if it's easily summoned. I know, yeah. Because Sage is a light spellcaster, it's very easy to summon. Plus, obviously, we have the light Hexio Fusion in the deck. So, it's not an issue to go into at all. So, it's a really, really good monster. Single copy of Guardian Chimera because it's extremely easy to summon in this deck. And Guardian Chimera is a fantastic boss monster. We do still have a copy of Tax Dragon because it irritates people. Moving right along into the Xyz, we still have our Numeron package because why not? And then we still have the rank 6 Wallow Founder Drudge Dragon. It's to help get the bystial monsters off the board and go into a monster that can increase attack points. And then again, we do have our Soldier of Chaos and Link Karibo. And these are cards that are just going to become staples at this point in this deck. But that is it for the Blue Eyes Bystial deck. If you guys enjoy the video, go ahead, drop a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Again, I have been outer sleeving more, and I absolutely love how they look. This is probably one of my favorite outer sleeves, and it looks beautiful. It really does. So yeah, if you guys can think of anything that you would do to change up the deck to maybe make it a little bit more consistent or just give it a little bit more firepower, go ahead and leave that down in the comments as well. I will do my best to try and get to everyone's comment. Alright, I will catch you guys in the next video.